Welcome back to Arise Exchange for this Friday. A senior Catholic cleric arrested for helping his rich friends allegedly smuggle 20 million euros into Italy from Switzerland. Monsignor Nunzio Scarano, who was a senior accountant with the Vatican, allegedly worked with an Italian Secret Service agent and a financial broker to transport the money by private plane. The story reads like a spy novel, but it's the latest in a growing list of financial problems to rock the Vatican. Just 2 days ago, the Pope named a commission to review the Vatican Bank. Joining us now is Father Tom Rees. He's an analyst and a columnist with the National Catholic Reporter, and he's author of Inside the Vatican, The Politics and Organization of the Catholic Church. Father Rees, let me ask you first from the top, what exactly is the Vatican Bank? Who does it serve, and what does it do?
Well, the Vatican Bank has about $7 billion in assets, and it has about 19,000 depositors. It basically serves employees of the Vatican and Catholic agencies or dioceses all over the world who make deposits there.
So basically, what is the problem with the bank? The Pope has appointed this commission. What are some of the issues facing it right now?
Well, the problem with the bank is that in the past, they allowed all sorts of people to have accounts there, Italian friends and this kind of thing. And sometimes they would use it for money laundering purposes. And these scandals, of course, were terrible for the Vatican and for the Church. And so they've begun to restrict the number of people who can have access to Vatican bank accounts. And they've also begun to follow procedures set by Moneyval, the international European agency that goes after money laundering and the financing of terrorism. And they're beginning to follow their standards. So whenever there's a suspicious financial transaction, it gets flagged and investigated.
Well, let me ask you that. The Vatican is its own country. And so what are the procedures it has in place? And has the Pope or previous popes taken too long to respond here?
Oh, I think they took much too long to respond. But I think Pope Benedict made a big step forward when he insisted that the bank and the Vatican follow the procedures set by Moneyval. This is an international agency that, reviews banking practices in countries throughout Europe. And they did a report last year on the Vatican and found that it was observing some of its procedures, but not all of them. And they're going to come back next year and look at them again and see whether they've made progress and improvements. So I think that we're always going to have scandals whenever there's money.
But do you think this is deeper, though? I mean, as this commission kind of gets in there, what are they going to find? Because there's been a lack of transparency for so many years, maybe hundreds.
Well, there's been a lack of transparency, and I think, I think what they are doing now is cleaning up their act. They're getting in procedures to catch this kind of thing and to make sure it doesn't happen in the future.
Father,
in fact, it's interesting. I mean, this whole business with this 20 million euros, didn't even go through the Vatican. This guy was operating outside.
He was a rogue guy. Well, that leads me to the question about the hiring process over at the Catholic Church, if you will. I mean, because there's one thing is the institution and an institution breakdown, but what about attracting the right people into the jobs?
Well, absolutely. I mean, here they were, I think the problem was you had a man who had worked in a bank and became a priest. And so everybody looks at him and says, oh, well, he's got experiences working in a bank. He can help us deal with our finances. Well, I mean, that's just because he's an ordained person who is an accountant doesn't mean you don't have to have the checks and controls and supervision that you would have of anybody in that kind of position. And that's what I think they need to do.
So, one final question then. Should maybe then that lay people occupy some of these positions or more lay people?
Well, absolutely. I think that lay people, but again, lay people can steal money too.
They're pretty good at it.
You have to have the same kind of procedures that you have in any business, in any government, in any bank, where you trust but verify. You know, you have controls, you have auditing, internal and external auditors to check. And, you know, certain transactions, you know, make red flags, and those you look at.
Right.
And that's what the Vatican is beginning to do. And I think they need to do it more.
Okay, Father, thank you so much. Father Tom Rees, thank you for your comments today. You're watching Arise Exchange.